Dude, it's a bummer that Josh can't hop on, but we'll
I
hold it
know.
down.
I thought he just said he was going to.
Oh, he did?
He said, "Okay, I'll hop on if you are still going."
Oh, sick. Okay,
So,
so maybe he'll be by later.
right. Let me call this man real quick.
What's up?
I said I'm gonna call him real quick.
Oh, do it. We should just do the whole podcast with him on speakerphone while he's eating breakfast.
What's up?
Bro, are you jumping on?
Bro, you're on the podcast right now.
I don't think
Got it. Because we just hopped on. All right. No worries. Because you, yeah, misunderstood.
let me know how it goes around.
All right, bro. Have a stacked breakfast. 'Cause I'm sure that's about to be stacked as hell.
Yep.
We shall. You know we will. All right, boy. Yeah. All right.
Cool. Well, since he's not here, we should talk about him for a little bit. Has Josh told you about his whole like he doesn't like food to taste like anything?
Yes. Which
We
is
had the
weird.
conversation. So the day of the prejudging, when we were all gonna hop on, and then it didn't quite work out. Josh hopped on with me when prejudging was just starting, before the open guys were up there, and he was like in his car after the gym. So we just had like a conversation on Riverside. I don't think I'm even gonna post it because it was like a 20-minute conversation about nothing. But we were talking about food, and he said that yeah, like the less flavorful the food, the more he likes it, and that just kind of it
You
blows my
know,
mind.
I, I'm getting to the point that we just have to understand that Josh is a very interesting type of person.
It is, man.
Especially in the realm of food.
Yes.
In the from the amount. One.
Yeah.
So it's we have to accept it for what it is. My
Yes.
man is an alien when it comes to food and his preferences.
I love it, man. I also love how completely unrelatable it is to any like relatively normal person. Because like you and I can kind of relate to the amount. He's probably eating the most out of the three of us, but we've all eaten a lot, right? We're like, okay, he's eating an extra 100 grams of rice with every meal, like whatever. But to the average person who only eats like 2,000, 2,500 calories, they're probably like, what the hell?
Like, bro,
Yeah.
I have a friend who's just now getting into the heavy range of eating.
Okay.
He said, "Bro, I don't know how you eat it." I was like,
Yeah.
you just get used to it. You
Yeah.
expand your stomach, your body adjusts. It's not
Yeah.
gonna be like that, but
Hmm.
because I gave him a plan because he wants to start getting into bodybuilding. I was like,
Oh,
here's
cool,
a
man.
simple plan to kind of get you started. He
Yeah.
said, "Bro, 7 to 8 ounces of protein with every meal,
Yeah.
like normal, dude. I mean, you're sick, you're you're 6'1", 202. Like
Yeah.
you need some size, right?
Yeah.
So best thing is to have higher protein, and then actually
Hmm.
start getting your training incorporated and all that. Then we'll start upping the carbs. But he's
Right.
like, bro,
Right.
I'm full. I was like, give it time, because you've been eating nothing but European meals since day one. So we're not
Yeah,
trying to
bro.
fit into size 2024 race around here. All right,
Right.
we're a little bit bigger than that.
For sure, man. Damn. Yeah, and those taller guys too have to eat more just already, just because they burn more calories just existing. That's probably part of why Josh eats so much too, is because he's taller, for
Yeah,
sure. But
that means
what's the most calories you've eaten? Not like a one off, like you went hard. What's the most calories you've eaten like that was your set plan?
well. I probably say it was for about 5 weeks. That
Hmm.
was in the 52,
Okay.
52,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that that was a push. That
Hmm.
was a fucking push. I was never hungry. I
Yeah.
was always full. I got it now, but bro,
Yeah.
you when you get to that point, uh, like you have to be on time. Usually,
Yes.
if you're like 20 minutes late, everything else is fucked.
Yes.
It was that particular.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I look forward to doing that again because I know I'm gonna have to. But
Yep.
that was definitely the most. Definitely the most
Yeah, man.
as
Yeah,
of eating right now.
let's see. Probably the most that I've ever gotten to consistently, like on a plan, is like a little over six, probably 6,500, honestly. But only for, like you said, only for a few weeks. Right now, I'm at actually right around what you said, like 5 to 52, a little bit more on leg days. Um,
Okay.
Honestly, I feel great. Surprisingly, like my appetite's fantastic. I'm still in that like really good phase where if I'm like 20 minutes late to a meal, it doesn't matter. Like I can just eat my next meal 20 minutes earlier. You know what I mean? It's really easy for me to make up that time. But I know that when the appetite starts to wane, if you're 20 minutes late, that means you're going to be at least 20 minutes late to the next one, and at least 20 minutes late to the one after that. Because
Yeah.
there's no crowding meals. It just doesn't work.
And it sucks, especially when you're trying to make sure you're eating in a time frame before
Yeah,
going to the gym. I
yeah,
know, like when you're in this, well, for me right now, I'm sure it's the same for you. We're
hmm
not eating a lot because we're still growing at a pretty fast pace.
yes,
We can eat probably 30 minutes before the gym and be quite fine. But when you
yep,
get to that point, you you
yeah,
might throw up trying to do a bench press.
yeah. It's so true, man. It's crazy how like just the state of your body can change your appetite so much.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like right before a show, you're so depleted and so lean and so like artificially hungry that no matter what you're carbon up with, right? It's like it doesn't even scratch the surface.
Exactly.
Like you can just eat forever, forever and ever. That's crazy. I don't know. It must be like a hormonal thing with like your ghrelin and like it's not your stomach. It's all just like your hormones tricking you into
Yeah,
thinking you're hungry.
100%.
Yeah.
All encompassing.
Yeah, man. Dude, what did you think of the Olympia, bro?
This is about to be this was the start of the next 5 years of how
Yeah.
fucking close it's gonna be.
Yeah, dude.
100%.
100%. I agree.
This it was fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need the live stream to be better. All right.
Yeah.
The live stream was so ass. Like it was
Yeah.
better at night, but in the morning was trash.
Yeah.
Night, give or take some. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was just you really couldn't make a true judgment call,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so we really literally are going off the people that were there, seeing it with their own eyes because that
Right.
live stream, it you couldn't really judge. It wasn't fair. Like when you could see some people's detail, obviously they are
Mm-hmm.
way more cut, and
Mm-hmm.
those that you couldn't see. But it was, I mean,
Yeah.
outside of that, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
Since there's so many positives, I guess let's start with the negatives. I agree, the live stream wasn't up to par, especially for the price tag, man. Like
Right.
I don't
$75. Come on, man.
yeah. I don't really personally have a major issue with paying 75 since it did literally cover the whole week, including the amateur show, which I didn't watch, but I might go back and watch it. It's cool. It's cool like how much content you got for sure. So I don't have a huge problem with the price, but if you're paying 75, like the live stream's got to be good. Like it can't be, you
Couldn't
know
be
what I
that.
mean? It can't be subpar for sure. Um
Mm-hmm.
I also thought the lighting was not great. And that was part of it with the live stream too. I think part of why we couldn't see a lot of detail on the live stream was the lighting also was not up to par.
It was an EDM. It was an EDM fest on that stage with them flashing lights.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I was like, what was the point of that?
Which is not what you want at a
No,
bodybuilding show.
no.
It's the opposite of what you want.
Right.
Um,
Like the red background.
yeah,
It wasn't terrible as it was last year, but I mean they're trending in the right direction, I guess.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we still want to just give us a solid black one. Then when the background went to black with the Olympia sign, thank you,
Hmm.
we appreciate it. But
That
that
was
red did not help.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I mean, I totally understand the rebuttal to that being like we got to have our sponsors up there, they pay for the show. That makes total sense.
Right.
But
And that
either either they could have the sponsors like up above or off to the side, or like you just said, they could have it on the backdrop but then it goes black, when they're actually
during
being
comparison
compared.
runoff, yeah. Like
Yeah.
if you want to do it, if you want to keep them up during the individuals, since they're not being scored on that, and we're not really. I
Yeah.
mean, we like it, right? That's the art of it.
Yeah.
But that would probably be the better time. But when we're looking at comparisons, everybody's like all up in the screen trying to look, trying to get the most crisp detail to analyze and make their own calls on what's going to happen. But
For sure.
or they can just do it in between time. Yeah, a lot of time in between.
Yeah,
Right?
dude.
So it's all good. But those were honestly the only two negatives.
I agree.
Yeah, everything else was smooth. Was really smooth, very professional. Like I enjoyed all of it. I watched. Okay, I didn't watch Bikini. I think I watched the tail. I watched the tail end of Bikini, but for the most part, I think I watched every single division outside of wheelchair. Wheelchair came on at a time I had to leave, but
Okay.
I watched every single one. I got more versed in other divisions than I ever expected to. But it was just fun to watch. It was great. Like I'm working, looking at both of my screens, just looking at the wellness, looking at physique, doing that thing. It was cool. It was great. It was organized. It was crisp, clean, and straightforward. No delays, no hiccups with whatever. It was great.
Oh yeah, dude. No, I agree. It was run very well. It seemed like they were staying a little bit more on time than they were last year, which is great. Seemed like what up, Milan?
Yo,
What's going on?
what's going on?
We were just getting into our Olympia talk here.
All right.
We both agreed that the live stream could have been a little better. What are your thoughts? Yeah.
So I ended up seeing yesterday some like 4K footage. I don't know if you guys came across that yet. And I was like, whoa, this changes a lot. Yeah.
For
So
sure.
it makes me kind of question a couple things, but yeah, I do think the live stream was underwhelming.
It's a shame because I feel like conditioning as a whole was really, really on point this year across the board. Like a lot of guys that have maybe struggled with conditioning in the past came in really crispy, like Regan. Like, holy shit, man. Regan looked awesome out of nowhere. It's like, oh, this is what we've been waiting for from Regan. And he moved up. He got top 10, which is awesome. Like, great for Regan. But yeah, I feel like if the guys that were really, really shredded, like Regan, you could tell on the live stream, but any fraction of a percent below that, they just looked like they were off, even if they weren't,
Yeah.
Like Hunter, I think Hunter was in good shape from what I could tell.
Yeah.
From high quality and stuff later. Yeah. But on the live stream, from the back, he looked off, but I think it was just the lighting and stuff,
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both. I think it's just a mix of the lighting and then the stream just going. The stream was going in and out. I don't know if you guys noticed. It was like blurry, then it was clear, but then when it was clear, it wasn't crispy. Like
I thought they were switching cameras because they had one that was like focused on close.
Yeah.
And the more crisper one was when they actually like when you see it change. They started from the back and then zoomed in, so they kept switching cameras.
That makes sense. Like. Dude, whoever's in charge of the close-up shots, or it like pans over to like somebody's ear, like we don't need to see that, man.
Dude, during like Samson, Hadi, and Derek, they're like just on their cocks, like it's like just cock shots, and I'm like, what are we watching right now?
What is being judged right now?
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Samson's winning. Oh my god.
Yeah. There were some funny moments. There's a part where I don't know, it was during somebody's routine. The camera just goes whoop, just like goes up and back. Like out of nowhere.
Like somebody bumped it by accident.
Somebody either like tripped or fell. Like I have no idea. It was pretty funny. Yeah.
I mean, in their defense, I guess probably like running a live stream for hours at a time is probably difficult. But like, for a $75 price tag, you do expect a certain level of professionalism for sure. But hopefully it'll just continue to improve. What'd you guys think about Arnold afterwards being like the Arnold Classic will be free? Like just big old slap in the face.
I fucking love it.
I know.
He knows he needs it. He needs to gain. He needs the Arnold to be as as big as it once was because it's not. No
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
Well,
2020,
well, some people are saying that the Arnold is going to be and is bigger than the Olympia.
After that huge purse increase last year for the
Yeah.
prize money,
Yeah.
I heard that too. Yeah.
So they're trying to trend in a better
And
direction.
they did mention like how the backdrop and everything played a huge role,
Mhm.
and like the production itself they thought was better. I think it was on might have been on RBP that they brought that up.
Yeah, I remember the lighting being really good at the Arnold too.
Yeah,
I thought the lighting was
it
a
was
lot
beautiful.
better.
Beautiful.
They knew what they
Well,
were doing.
those are pretty much all the negatives. So let's get into the positives. Let's do this. After prejudging, how did you guys see the top three?
I had Hadi, Samson there, but again, this is based off the quality of what I was witnessing.
Yeah.
After the stream, I was kind of going back and forth. Like I didn't write it down or anything.
Yeah.
But for me it was between Hadi and Derek.
Mhm.
Because I just thought to myself, like, I would go Samson's way.
Yeah.
But I just know that they're not gonna do that. Or else I would have had Samson. So I'm like, okay, I'm trying to be correct in this.
Mhm.
But personally, I think Samson head to toe, back to front was my favorite.
Mhm.
He's just way more complete. Like to me, like I don't know if you guys saw this in Hadi, but I love Hadi. Huge fan. I'd probably I wanted him to win. I picked him to win. But I felt like there was something a little bit off, and I think that his size played a role in that. He wasn't to me wasn't as crisp as he normally is. He also didn't seem as like hungry and like just had that umph to him. He kind of struggled with his posing a bit. And what I mean by that is he would hit a pose and then he would kind of struggle to hold it, and then he would switch something up. Like he was kind of he was a little tweaky. Whereas Samson and Derek had the advantage of they hit the pose, they stick it, and they hold it. You know what I mean? So I know that like Tyler and Steve are pretty big on that, with the posing being fidgety. So I did kind of notice that in Hadi, but that didn't really change the fact that I think he should have been the winner again, because he's just.
So I like what you said as far as like you saying Samson had the most complete frame, but he didn't win technically any frame. I think that was probably like the downside of it, because with Derek, you know, he didn't have the front shot in comparison to Hadi. He may have had the side, but we all know for sure he had both back shots. Clean as day. And I think for whatever reason, Hadi's back lat spread specifically.
Yeah, we talked about this. Yeah, it just.
Yeah. It was weird. I mean, it was. I don't know how to explain it.
He was full and he was big and but he wasn't as crisp. And the thing is because we've seen Hadi come in so fucking diced. From year to year to year, when he doesn't match that and he brings a different look, we look at that as him potentially being off. You know, and sometimes Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish.
I was just gonna say, like, I think like with the judges, we kind of saw the same thing with Sean, right? Sean came in bigger. He isn't necessarily any. He checks all the boxes. But in one box, he didn't check that he normally does check. So when that's not there, I feel like they knock them down for that.
I agree.
And I agree. When you say, I don't think Hadi didn't have the crispness, because Sean, if you're comparing to Sean, their conditioning was both spot on. I think they both had the best conditioning out of who their competition was. They were just too big. Like they blew out their frame pretty much. Almost. What it looked like. They just couldn't control or hold what they had in their frame that they had last year. And so it just looked off in comparison to last year. Because I think Hadi's condition was just top notch for sure.
Do you guys think if this were like the early 2000s or even the 2010s, they would have
Hassan
won.
would have won.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, Hassan would have won. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Hassan was so freaking big, dude.
Oh, that boy was juicy,
Yeah.
man.
But do you
Yeah.
think that it's modern bodybuilding criteria that hurt them the most? Like the emphasis on waists and flow to a physique and aesthetics and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because social media is such a prominent thing within bodybuilding now, is everybody usually, well, immediately tells you how they feel, and everybody will find some type of flaw in a physique. So when you have these pro shows going on constantly throughout the year, and you have these Olympias going on that are being promoted every year, one thing that somebody has, or people that always bring up, is the waist. So if that's slightly off, I feel like that's a really make or break for a win now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got a question now that we say that. What do you guys feel about Samson's waist, or his waist? What do y'all think about that?
I think he has the best taper. Well, I don't know about that. Derek has a pretty killer taper. He has a very aesthetic taper and waistline. I do think that in some of his poses, he could pose it a little better. Like
Side try
and front lat are the two that pop out to me. His front lat, I feel like I understand what he's doing with his midsection. He's pulling up, but not so far that you lose the lines, right? Like he's keeping his abs in, which I like. But I feel like he's leaning back too far, and it almost pushes his stomach out further than his chest, which doesn't, especially from the angle of the judges, that doesn't translate well.
I see that.
It could be a hip thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, it seems like it's the lower ab. And so if his pelvic tilt is not, if it's too forward, then it's going to pop more. So whereas if you push it back, but then if you push it back, then it's like, can he really sit on the hamstring properly? So yeah, he probably just doesn't have the mobility, or just can't hit that properly.
Yeah. No,
sure, he's aware of it, but
for sure. But no, I think that overall, man, like Samson, I actually just right before we hopped on, I was watching a podcast with a whole bunch of guys, but Milos was on it. It was I think it was Dennis's podcast. And man, first of all, I love how emotional Milos gets about his clients. Like I feel like if I were to pick a celebrity pro coach, I would pick Milos, just because I feel like if as a competitor, if I were watching that podcast of him going to battle for me, I'd be like, fuck yeah, Milos.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to see.
I'm your client forever.
Exactly. But he was talking about Samson and obviously going to bat for him, and he was saying that before they start posing, if you just look at him, glance at him on stage, just standing there relaxed, Samson wins all day. He's Mr. Olympia easily before they start posing. And then when you go pose by pose, you could argue that they edge him out. But no, overall, to answer your question, overall, I think Samson's waist was good. There were just a couple posing things that I think he could fix for sure.
Yeah, no, I completely agree there. I think in the side tricep, I did notice it, and but to be fair, I think that even if he were to fix that, is that going to negatively affect the rest of the pose itself against somebody like Derek and Hadi? I think we're really that would be really nitpicking, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is for the Mr. Olympia. But as Milos, as Mr. Olympia, yeah. But then you could say that Derek isn't as balanced. So it's like
that's the thing. He's not.
Well, yeah. So it's like, are we really gonna knock Samson for maybe half an inch off the waist when everything else is there?
This was my impression of the conditioning across the top three, right? Samson as a whole maybe had the worst conditioning, you could argue, but his conditioning was very even. Front to back, minus maybe the glutes, but front to back, he was in good shape. He wasn't out of shape by any means, and it was very even. Where Hadi, it was like he was granite from the front,
Yeah.
like full vascular, grainy, hard, tons of detail through his chest and abs, core. And then he turned around and there wasn't as much detail. Derek was the opposite, where he
Yeah.
hardly had any chest striations at all. But then his glutes were like, I kept looking at his glutes going, what the fuck is that? It's
Yeah.
not even a
Yeah.
glute. It
Yeah.
looks like freaking Lincoln Logs or something. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it didn't even look like an ass. So that was really odd to me. Like I don't even know how that works, man. I I guess it's genetic, but as someone who my chest is never not striated, like it just that's the first thing to come in for me. I don't understand how you can have glutes that look like that and
Yeah.
not even chest striations. That just blows my mind.
Yeah.
Crazy,
It is
crazy.
a bit odd. It is a bit odd, but just quickly before we move on, you brought up Milos and
Yeah, yeah.
talking about, so one of the podcasts I watched with him is now the show is not a Mr. Olympia competition, it's a Mr. Seven Mandatory Poses
hmm
Olympia.
I've heard him say that too.
Yeah. Because we're not looking at the physique and how it flows and how it actually looks in movement.
hmm
We're looking at them in poses.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an interesting way to look at it, and I think that's definitely how it's judged now.
Yeah.
But you kind of, when you do that, it makes it more easy to judge, right?
Yes.
Because if you're going off the flow, different angles, different timing, breaths, and all that, you're
Yeah.
getting a wide range of thoughts and premises where you see one shot, and if they can hold that shot and hit the criterias of it, it's an easier judge. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that way would be great because it brings the art of bodybuilding in full circle instead of just the individual performances.
Right.
But at the same time, I feel like it can be even more skewed if we go back to that way.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I've actually
Yeah.
heard Fuad had conversations about this very thing recently too. Where like on one hand, the less subjective it is, the better, right? Because it makes it, like you said, easier to judge. So the seven mandatory poses and the specific criteria, that makes it just less subjective. But it's also kind of silly when everybody watching is sitting here going like, "Man, I want to look like Samson way more than everybody else," but he's third instead of first. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
also kind of
Yeah.
dumb if we're all thinking it, but because of these seven mandatory poses, like he's third. You know,
Yeah.
so there's got to be a balance in there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's tricky. But yeah, to
Very.
your point, if you're just going off flow, like how are you? How do you be objective, right? Like that's
Yep.
tricky. That's tricky for sure.
The
Yeah.
Samson had the best flow. I think one of my goals as a bodybuilder is to hit is to hit his moves at least in one show. Because when he does it, it's just
Yeah,
That's
dude.
that like
so fucking
To
funny.
With the
it.
hand, bro.
he does the like
I
little
love
shoulder head
Yeah.
ding ding. Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Bro,
And
with
you can
masculine,
tell it's like
with masculine
so
finesse. It's so
it's so
fluid.
fluid and natural. Like you can tell that he's not like thinking about it. Like he's not like, okay, my right hand's gonna go here, my right shoulder's gonna go here. Like he's just flowing, man. He's just
Yeah.
like
Right.
feeling it.
Right.
I want to see Samson pose to like Michael Jackson or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Acapella. Has to be acapella.
I could see him doing like some of those wacky, dramatic, like Kai Green routines for sure.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the Phantom of the Opera
For sure.
one, like all
For
those
sure.
famous routines.
For sure.
Definitely. Yeah. Do
No
we all
costume
agree
though. No costume though.
Yeah.
That would throw me
Please no
off.
costume.
Yeah, please.
do we all agree that Samson was the best poser?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so.
Hands
For
down.
sure.
Hands
For
There
sure.
was a shot he hit right away right when he walked out, and I just thought it was he's very like captivating on stage, and I sent him a message and I just said like your stage presence is something that's beyond admirable. Like it's I'm a huge
He's-
I love to pose and I love to be on stage, so it's important to me that you stand out as a competitor and you really show them and you kind of take advantage of your moment, and he definitely puts his all into that, and I really love that about him, because
Yeah.
I find you don't really see that often now.
No.
Especially in
It's
open.
very static. Very static.
Like, I feel like it's just open, you know exactly what these guys are gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a lot of the open guys will, like, the guys that really stay on their posing, they're practicing their posing a lot, but they're just practicing like just like holding it, like holding the 7 mandatory
The
poses.
Yeah.
7 poses.
Yeah,
The 7
right.
poses.
I was kind of inspired watching Samson too, because I'm exactly like he's talked about how he's practiced his posing. That's how I am in prep too. It's just like very militant, at least 20, 30, 45 minutes a day, 30-second holds, all the same stuff that he was talking about. I'm like, oh, I do that too.
Yeah.
But what he has that I don't, and what I want to work on this year for sure is like that just flow. Like,
Yeah.
I can get in.
I say art. I say fine art. Like,
Yeah.
look,
Yeah.
I've been looking at him. All right, so my background, I used to be a professional dancer. So
Oh, really?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
nice.
Good.
I'm a huge
I
fan
did-
of dance, so
Hell yeah.
hip hop, jazz, contemporary, and then what you would call like an African, if you will. So
Okay.
like seeing him do it in comparison to everybody else, you can't help but attract yourself to that, because at that point now you're truly an entertainer as well as a competitor on that stage. And so like I've been looking at like, well, what I recommend, like if you're going to do that, so look at some choreographers and some dances and how you can incorporate those into your transitions. That would probably be your best point. Their best point, because that just it sets it up so differently.
On that,
so you have more
as well, with my clients, I would try to tell them, find a song or find music that you really enjoy and that makes you want to dance, and pose to that. Fucking, I don't know if you smoke weed, smoke some weed, just get vibing, vibe out, pose, and you're gonna find like a groove with it.
Yeah.
At least that's how I did it.
Do you guys ever hit a weed pin or anything right before going on stage?
So I
You said yes, Tyler?
kind of did.
Oh.
I kind of did this year. To be honest, I don't really remember, because I heard about the vodka trick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do that. I took a shot and I was fucking hammered. Like, I was like, whoa. But it was like, I felt good, and I was like, I posed really well, but
nice.
It wasn't the same as posing when I smoke weed.
Yeah.
But I think my friend had one, and I like hit it backstage. I think for finals I did that too, but I personally wanted to do that next time, because I just find I pose so much better. I feel the music.
Yeah.
But then again, my downside to that is that I don't get to pick my music like you guys do. I don't get a routine.
Oh, really?
I only get 10 seconds, and whatever song is on, it's on. So, and I'm quite picky.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, I can't post like Christina Aguilera, you know?
Right. Yeah, I considered it, and then I kind of chickened out at the last minute, because I was like, especially because it was USA's, right? I'm like, if I get like too stoned and I go out there and just like freeze, I didn't want to do that. But
gentlemen, side chest. Neil's doing like side tricep.
Yeah, exactly. Like, where am I? What's going on? But no, I think it would actually work really well for me, because I've done it like before practicing posing a bunch, and especially like at the end of prep when you're like, fuck, I'm exhausted and I gotta practice posing for 30 minutes right now, and let's just make this a little more fun.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, Milan. I think it definitely helps me kind of just like get out of my head and flow with the music and
because you're relaxed, right? You're relaxed.
Yeah, that's all it is.
And you're not having to overthink it. And I find when people overthink, they just it's just not natural. It's just not natural.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
I wish I could say I would smoke weed, but I actually take a shot of tequila.
Okay,
There you
I mean,
go.
That's my thing. That's
same
my
idea,
thing.
right?
I need one
Yeah.
Casamigos Reposado on the rocks, please. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah. No, I've heard of a lot of guys doing that, Tyler, of taking a shot of something right before they go up.
Dude, it dried me the fuck out. I did Tito's.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like vodka, like, at all.
That's why I
But
do tequila.
I did Tito's the night before Fuad's show, and
Mhm.
my abs were super dry.
Nice.
And then I did a little bit before prejudge as well. And then for Toronto, I was like, oh, it dried me out a lot. I'm kind of watery right now. Might as well take some more.
Yeah.
I took way too much. And the music was like blasting. I thought I was at a club. I was joking around with everyone backstage. They probably thought I was so fucked up, but I was.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I heard Ian Valier talk about that before, where Melissa was just handing him plastic cups of, I think it was vodka. Yeah, and then he ended up like way more fucked up than he meant to be.
Yeah, feel awesome when you go out there though.
Yeah,
100%.
no
100%.
kidding. All right, I've been working on pulling up some stuff for us to review here.
Cool.
Here's shoot, hold on. Here's some footage of the pose down. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, I was gonna send you. They uploaded some 4K videos, and
Ooh,
I saved them.
Oh, sick.
So I'll send you them right now.
Do it. In the meantime,
Where's my watch later? Videos.
here's some pretty cool footage. Yeah, Hadi was so edged out from the front, man.
All right, I sent it in the
Okay, sick.
chat. I liked the green on him too.
Yeah.
I felt that made a difference.
Well.
Gave him some flavor. And
yeah.
it goes with his tone, if you will.
His tan was better, but his tan was significantly better last year.
Yeah.
I went back after we did the podcast, and I was like, man, maybe I'm just tired. I'm just crazy. But then I went back and I was like, no, I was right. Like his
tan was better.
His tan was nice last year.
Okay. Yeah, his midsection is so detailed, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. And then there's Jerry's glutes right there. Good God.
Hadi's like hamstring glutes are just so much bigger though.
Yeah, look at his chest. There's zero line.
Did you guys see that? I didn't notice this during the show, but I've been seeing pictures of the bumps in Derek's lats.
Oh, really?
You guys didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, if you go back, like once you see it, it's pretty prominent. But
really,
if you go here, hold on, just gonna.
Here, I'll pull up what you sent as well.
Okay, so the video that I sent you, if you skip to 10 minutes and 25 seconds, that's when they do the final comparison with Samson, Derek, and Hadi.
Okay.
Good old YouTube and ads.
Dude, I know.
10 minutes and 25 seconds?
That's correct.
Damn, I kind of want to just sit here and watch this whole thing.
I know. We definitely need to go back and see the other...
Yeah, let's go back after. Okay. 10...
But I want you guys to see the lat real quick. Because I actually didn't notice it until...
Yeah, I didn't notice it either.
Oh, Neil, can you go on theater mode, please?
Theater mode, what is that?
Yeah, which is the one in the middle. Or yeah.
Oh,
theater
right
mode
here.
is just, yeah.
Okay, boom.
Or you can go full screen, doesn't matter. Yep. Well, nice. So when he does the front double. Gentlemen, knock it off. On the line.
Back on the line.
Back on the line. Hadi, I know you could read lips.
I swear, man, my man's earpiece wasn't working the entire time.
Yeah, dude.
Nope.
There was something going on, I think.
What did you guys think about Hadi walking off stage at the end?
See them? Do you see them?
Pause. Uh,
Like
up under his
right
armpit?
under his armpit?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
If you go full screen.
I'll
I
do
think
you
you
one.
can still. I think you can zoom in if you're on your
I'll
laptop.
do you one better. Can you guys see that zoom in?
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
Okay, you gotta scroll down now. Okay.
Yeah, you see the bumps? Like, if you look at Hadi's lats, right?
Yeah.
See those protruding.
I think that might be a vein.
No, like there's. Hold on, let me see if there's.
I could see it on his. I don't know if that's shadowing though.
Yeah. I see what you're talking about. It's just hard
I
to
see what you're talking about. Yeah. I can't really say that those are bumps though.
Okay, so here's a photo of. Here's a photo of his lat before. Here, wait.
You got to share your screen?
Oh yeah, can I do that?
Yeah.
If I'm not hosting?
Let me stop sharing. I think you can.
It should be right next to the leave button.
They're not here.
There you go.
But
See,
there
I
was
can't really.
even here. They're not here.
Yeah.
But isn't that like older? He looks so small there.
Yeah, but still, it's. Where is the? Here, you can see it more. See? How do I zoom in this? What is that?
And this is
20.
the Arnold? Wait, what is? That wasn't this year, was
You
it?
can kind of see it here. I don't know. People who were.
That's not this year.
Yeah, that's not this year. But even then, you can kind of see it there. Where the fuck is it?
Maybe that's where he bangs all his gear right before the show, you know?
Right under the armpit.
Because you don't want to, you definitely don't want to shoot your glute. Especially not with his glutes, because you would see it.
Yeah.
He probably does. I mean, he probably does pin his lats before the show.
Yeah, so like even my friend who doesn't bodybuild, he was like, "Yo, did you guys see that in his lats?" Like, I was like, "No, I didn't see it," and I completely ignored it. And then I saw a couple videos on YouTube of people talking about it, but I didn't notice it.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either. That's interesting. I mean, sometimes muscles also just look weird when they're shredded, you know? Like little weird imperfections and normalities start to come out. So, yeah, who knows? But, I mean, it's not a stretch at all to say that would be really high on the lat to pin. That'd be kind of weird. But maybe I don't know. That's a weird one. Okay. Let's look at these boys. See what I mean about Samson's front lat?
Yeah.
So he kind of like pushes his hips forward and his lower abs, like if you looked at that from the side, his lower abs would be sticking out further than his chest.
Yeah.
Whereas
Brandon is more sorry, not Brandon. Derek is more
yeah.
The shoulder lines up with the quad, like if we were to look at
It looks like Derek is standing straight up though, in comparison to
Yes.
Hadi's like in between both of them. Like hitting the correct way.
Yeah, Hadi probably looks the best pose wise. Like he's
I had Hadi for this one.
Yeah. He's up, but he's not leaning back as far as Samson. Yeah. Do you guys think, I heard someone else saying that Samson is bottom heavy. Do you guys agree with that?
No.
I think he's pretty freaking balanced top to bottom, dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Just a fucking monster.
He's probably the most balanced guy up there, other than like
Right? That's what I think. He's
like the only other person, or well, actually, Hunter's quite balanced. Hunter's pretty balanced. Tonio's very balanced.
Yeah, it's probably the best. I think Tonio's, if anything, will probably be considered the best balance.
I could agree with that.
I'm a huge fan. I think he's great.
Now this is where Derek really shines. This back double is ridiculous.
And
like,
yeah.
And this is where Hadi goes down.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's pinching. I don't know.
He also couldn't hold it. If you play the video, he can't. This was for finals, but for prejudging, I noticed it a lot. It was that he'll hit it, and then he loses his balance a bit, which then throws off him keeping the glute and ham flexed.
Yeah.
I think it might be here.
Yeah, he's a little shaky compared to the
right
see?
There.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did it both times.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Samson with his little flare. Samson looks
See, that's the pose where, okay, he fixed the waist a little bit there.
Yeah, that looked actually pretty good right there.
Yeah.
I almost had him winning that shit, actually. Yeah.
I will say, even though some people are a little bit upset about Derek winning and all that shit.
There was enough to get this man a count.
Yo, I know. I saw that. And I personally I would have liked to see Hadi take it, but watching this, I was thinking this would be so hard to judge.
Oh yeah.
You can only look at somebody for so long, and then you have to try to compare them to the person next to them, but that's only if they're able to hold the pose right away. It's judging this and then judging so many competitors per category, this must be very difficult.
Exhausting.
Neil, I asked Milan this. When we was watching Samson pose, he was the only one progressively starting to sweat. Do you think they counted anything off of him for that?
I wondered about that. At finals, I noticed it a lot. There was one of the. This is finals right here, right?
Yeah, you can see it now.
This was the call out. Yeah, where his specifically his head down to the top of his shoulders starts to get real sweaty.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Possibly because it was so close, right? If Samson were ahead, I don't think it would have mattered. But because it was so close,
I like Samson's back lat there.
I like Samson's back lat too. But yeah, when it's that close, I think they look for really anything at all to kind of sway their decision. Because to Milan's point, it is super hard to judge, I bet. So if someone gives you a reason, it's like, okay, Samson's third,
Yeah.
I could see it. Well, they literally came out and said that after. Where did Hunter and Andrew compete? Was that Texas?
Texas, yeah.
They came right out and said it afterwards. They were like, Hunter was ahead, and then he couldn't hang with Andrew with the posing, so he gave it to Andrew. That's literally what they said. So,
really?
But I thought it was because he was fading too, because and
because he was
his
fading.
body started. Okay, because I think the fading was more so than the hanging and the posing. I think the fading took way more precedence than just the posing part.
Yeah, but it's all related, right? It's like if they had only done one call out or one round,
easy
would have won. Yeah, exactly. So it's the fact it's that endurance and not just the sweating, but like you said, he's fading in his poses. So they definitely take stuff like that into account for sure. I mean, I don't think Samson really faded, but he was definitely sweating.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I didn't think he faded at all.
No, I don't think so. Actually, I think Samson got better as he posed.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. But that
the
goes
sweat
to show
added
you
a shimmer to him.
Water, though. It did, and that's when you say he got better. That's why I'm thinking did he have too much water in the beginning?
Mm.
Right.
Because if you're looking at Derek and Hadi, them bad boys is dry as sandpaper.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, right? If he's holding a little bit of water, it's coming out of his pores. So
yeah,
that makes sense. I don't know, man. Do you guys think Samson can ever be as quote unquote conditioned or dry as these other guys?
I think he can.
Do you think so?
I think he might lose a little bit of size, but probably grow again. Like something, I would say similar to what Nick has been doing with his body. He was already so fucking big, but his body started recomping in the direction of what it needed to.
Yeah. Andrew too. Andrew, they stuck way down for that Arnold where he was a little flat. Where Samson won. He was a little flat and stringy, and then they filled him back out, and he looked perfect in Texas. So, no, that's a good point for sure.
Here's Andrew.
I ain't gonna lie, I feel sorry for Andrew.
Me too.
Because
he didn't seem himself.
You could tell he was. Honestly, I didn't think he was gonna get fit. I can tell you that. I didn't think he was gonna get fit.
Yeah,
he looked great, and he came back better in the night.
Yes,
but that motherfucker was so full. Like it looked uncomfortable full.
Yeah,
like when he walked out in prejudging, he knew he was not at his best. Like not even worth competing.
Yeah,
but his frame, I guess, is just so fucking good. It didn't really matter.
Yeah.
I was looking at Hunter the entire time when they were on stage. I thought Hunter had fifth easily.
Where did Hunter end up? Sixth.
Yeah.
And then Brandon was fourth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had Andrew fourth. Like after watching.
I thought so too. I thought it
just
was
because I'm like, if Samson's in the mix,
yeah,
right? Why wouldn't Andrew be?
Yeah.
Like right below that, I mean.
Yeah. I think with Andrew, it's probably one of those intangibles that you have to be there to really see. I think it's a thickness front to back issue. Like I think on the side shots he disappears a little bit when you compare him to like a Samson.
Yes, especially the side leg.
Yeah. Yep, his side leg as well. But man, that's a pretty physique. Like look at that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that is ridiculous. Was the beginning of this video prejudging?
No, this is finals, so they do the confirmation round.
Okay. I want to see this first lineup. Dude, speaking of pretty physiques, I got to give a shout out to Mr. Shier, Tyler's coach. Dude. Holy shit, man.
Bro.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, look at that. It just
Dude,
even if
I didn't realize how big his arms were.
They're huge.
Fucking massive. They're huge.
Like
they're massive. Like it's like that in his calves. He just doesn't really
like when he hits the front lat.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
Leave some room for the lats because your arms are fucking huge.
Yeah. Maybe it's because arms have always been a weak point that I've chased. Maybe that's why, but I just love the way that looks. I'm like, I think that's perfect. I think those like ridiculously overblown arms look awesome. Personally.
You must be a Ramon fan too.
Yeah, I do like Ramon's physique. I do like Ramon's physique, but I think Chris is still a clear winner. I don't agree with the people that think that the Ramon should take it.
I think it was very, very close.
It was definitely closer this year. It was closer this year than ever before, for sure.
Sure. I was quite amazed with him this year.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, so this is what, top 6?
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of Brandon?
I expected it. That's all I can say. I can't say I was impressed, but because he downsized and had overcome being so big on the last one to become imbalanced. And I think one of the things that we all talked about is that with his age, he can't bring his legs up to his body, so he brought his body down to match his legs.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that he has any more room for improvement, or do you think this is his peak and it'll be either retirement or a decline from here?
I think he got one more good year to be top 5, but after that, I believe the decline is imminent.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame.
Yeah, I mean he looks great for sure, but
He knows him and his coach know how to get it done.
Yeah,
He's been there for a while, so
for sure, man.
it's the consistency.
That side chest though, he's very thick up top.
Yeah.
One of the thickest for sure.
Yes, definitely.
But if you guys see here, Andrew standing next to Samson, it's like, wouldn't that be fourth?
Yeah, right?
Not necessarily. Yeah. I mean, looking at the posing, and in comparison to both.
Like, the only shot that I really think he doesn't have are the side shots, like Neil said.
Yeah.
But even, like, let Brandon get in his here, and let's see.
Andrew was just getting out of his, but yeah. Honestly, the only thing that I really see
the lower half, yeah.
A glaring difference is Andrew's legs from the back.
Yeah.
Are not up to par. His back looks phenomenal though. Like almost as white as Samson's, which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
I can see it though. I can totally see an argument for him at fourth. 100%.
Y'all don't see Hunter over there just giving it? Or am I just is it just me?
Nah, dude, Hunter looks
great.
Excuse me.
Hunter looks
awesome.
Really good. For sure. Do you guys think that this was the best conditioning, fullness, balance so far for Hunter, or did you like him better in Texas?
I think this was really good.
I think this
was he got tighter and bigger.
Yes.
This one was it for sure.
I think this was his best. I agree.
Do you think he could hit his side try a little bit different?
Hunter?
I feel like he stands super wide. And he's kind of like... it's just in comparison to everybody else. See where he has got that...
He's doing...
his stance is different.
Yeah, he's doing the Dorian Yates. This is how I hit my side try, actually.
Yeah. Okay. I like how... I think it works for his body, his physique, personally.
Yeah. Could he get a little bit more hammy hang if he stood how everyone else is? Maybe.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking, like, if you look at how Derek's hitting that and the waist...
Yeah.
You can pull it in a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
I think in Texas...
Never noticed that.
I think in Texas, Hunter was doing both, if I remember
right.
He
was.
Right? He started in the how everyone else is hitting it here, and then transitioned to this, yeah?
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to throw this out there. Andrew still likes to do the cheating side try. That's still funny.
Yeah, I know. I did notice that he was still doing it. I think that was
he's like, fuck it, I'm good at
this.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Wait, did he transition with it, or did he just do?
He transitioned with it, but if you notice, he doesn't hit it long, like at because it looks.
Oh yeah, dude.
And then
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, they did say that you can still use it as a transition. They're just not gonna that's not the pose. That's just a transition to get into your next pose. But yeah, he's definitely not staying in the mandatory one very long. That's funny. Most muscular. I really like Samson's most muscular.
Yeah.
That's nutty.
His silhouette is wild.
Just ridiculous. I know.
And now I can see when people say, is he bottom half dominant? His quads are fucking real.
He has ridiculous quads, but he has a ridiculous upper body too. Look at his freaking
I know.
chest.
That's what gives it the balance. But looking at it, if you're just looking at his bottom half in comparison to everybody else's, them motherfuckers are huge.
Yeah. Okay, this is good. Now this is what 7th through 12th.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with how all these guys landed? What was it? It was Tonio in 8th.
I still think Tonio should have beat Crizzo. Personally.
Okay. So I actually haven't been able to see the official scorecard. So what did Crizzo get?
7th, right, Tyler?
Yep. So Crizzo 7th, Tonio 8th, Regan 9, Charles Griffin, shout out to that man, was 10th. Yep. 11 was Hassan. 12 was what is it?
Presti?
Andrea?
Presti, yeah.
13 Theo, and 14 Roman. and then 15, Justin, Sauce Boss, and Phil.
Sauce Boss didn't show up for finals.
Yeah.
What was up with that? Do we know?
Because
I don't know, honestly.
I saw on his story, because Tyler, I don't know if you remember, we were talking about like the last call out, and you brought up Ross in one of the call outs, and then I thought, I was like, I didn't see him.
Yeah.
But then I didn't clue in that he actually didn't show up, and then I saw somebody posted the do not finish. And I was like, fuck, he actually wasn't there. So then I went on his Instagram. Apparently he had some crazy dehydration issues.
Oh, shit.
Where he didn't feel comfortable standing on stage.
Okay.
But to me,
he overdieted.
But to me, man, like, a do not finish, from what I'm aware, is like a 2-year disqualification.
That's what I thought, too. I thought that.
So it's like,
I don't know. Unless he talked with them for a reason why he could not finish.
I know that if you commit, this is what I know for sure. If you commit to a show with the IFBB, you sign your contract, and then you don't show up like to check-ins, it's a 2-year ban.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's also the case if you check in, you do prejudging, and then you just don't finish. I don't know. I would think it'd be the same rule, but maybe not.
Because even for regional shows here and national shows, you get disqualified if you don't show up.
Right. Yeah.
Like, sorry, like you get like a ban.
I think you do here too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. We had a ton of people that didn't finish.
Well, you ain't gonna see them next year.
That's true.
We had a ton of people. Yeah.
That's right. The super heavies were supposed to be like 11, 12 guys, and there were like 8 or 9 of us, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Same thing for heavyweights. Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 that didn't show up.
That's pretty wild, dude. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, honestly, the two that I'm most impressed with in this lineup are Tonio and Regan, personally. I don't know. I get why Crizzo placed higher, but I'm just personally not a fan. That's just me.
Well, tell me why. Why you think he placed higher? That's what I want to know.
I mean, it's sheer size. Like, he has more muscle per square inch. But I don't know, man. Looking at this shot, Regan's got bigger legs. I swear it's just his freaking arms, dude. Like, he has really big arms. He has a big chest. His quads are good.
Yeah, his quads are really good.
He does have quads.
He got no booty.
He's got no booty, and his back is not up to par with the front.
Like, look at that.
Yeah.
He just got, honestly, to me, he just got legs and arms. Everything else is kind of like, I mean, I say that in respect to everybody else on stage.
No, I agree. Well,
yeah, that's what I didn't really understand is if you're talking about top 5 at the Olympia, or sorry, top 10 at the Olympia.
Yeah.
I think they 1000% need to be balanced head to toe. And there's just such a balance issue.
This is another perfect example, the other extreme, of why the flow of a physique should matter sometimes above the 7 mandatories. Because in the 7 mandatories, I don't agree with it, but you can make a case for Crizzo winning, right? When you look at
you can make a case, yeah.
You can make a case as a judge. When you look at the flow of his physique, it doesn't flow. So there's another situation where it's like, well, do you judge him based on just the 7 mandatories, or do you judge him based on his overall flow compared to somebody like Samson, who's the other extreme, right? So, yeah, I don't know. That's tricky.
Yeah, not a fan. Fortunately.
Yeah.
As we're looking at this, who are you guys' surprise position and damn, I'm messing up this word. Biggest disappointment and one that you were just kind of shocked to see, not as a disappointment, but like go that person. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Not to say it.
Tonio as my I knew he was gonna be great, but I was like seeing him up there and with the tan and just perfectly peaked. I was like, whoa, this guy is. I can't find any flaws. You know, people will say size, but I'm like, he's almost perfect to me. And then biggest disappointment. There's a lot of disappointments, but for me it was Andrew being 5th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I would. All right. So I agree with the biggest disappointment being Andrew.
Yeah.
He didn't hit what we expected him to hit, like especially after Texas. But my surprise guy is gonna be Mr. Griffin.
Oh yeah.
Coming from the pec tear and then giving this beautiful physique. I give him that. I give him that because I don't think he was he was far last year, deep in there last year.
Yeah, I would say my surprise guy would. I mean, there were honestly a few surprises. I agree with you, Milan, about Tonio. I'm not gonna say him just because I was looking at his updates and stuff when Instagram would load for him.
Yeah.
Which is rare. But when it would work, I was looking at his updates. I also met him in person, and I've been a fan of his for a while. So I knew he was going to bring something crazy. In fact, I think I actually got his placing correct in my predictions. I think I said 8th. So that landed about where I thought it would, and he looked nuts. My biggest surprise, I guess, was probably Regan, just because it was so much better than what we've seen in the past. And I feel like it happened really suddenly. It was like he did those 2 shows where he looked good, but he was a little off. And then all of a sudden I started seeing these updates on his Instagram where he had like diet face for the first time ever. Like,
yeah.
Regan's always had like a moon face on stage, you know? And then all of a sudden I started seeing like a sunken in skull face, and I'm like, oh shit, like what's Regan about to show us? And it was definitely his best conditioning. So that was probably my biggest surprise.
I respect that one for sure.
My biggest disappointment. I'm with you guys on Andrew, but just to throw a different answer out there, I'm gonna say Justin, dude.
I knew you were gonna say that. Justin being 10th or last, yeah.
Which I'm not even necessarily saying that like,
because it's not a disappointment technically.
Yeah,
you know?
he looked fantastic, and I'm not even necessarily saying that the judges got it wrong, but when you look at his physique, it's like, how is this last place? If you just look at him by himself, it's like that's really discouraging. You know, like that last place. That's wow. That's crazy.
If I was to give my reasoning, I think it was because of his back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was the only thing. I think it was his back. Really.
I didn't see too many back shots, so that makes sense.
I think they bring them out. Maybe not.
I don't think they bring him out in finals.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure they do because he's wearing the blue trunks. I remember him being on the end. I think it might be after.
He's in the lineup here, but do they just send them all back, or?
I'm pretty sure they do. Because I remember watching it. He's on the end, beside Roman.
Okay, so that was the first call.
It might be up more.
Whoop.
Come on.
Freakin' YouTube, dude. Okay. That's the top 3. So you think it was after the top 3?
I think, yeah, they bring them out.
Oh, then they did individuals.
Yeah.
Dude, let's watch Justin's routine. Let's do that.
Okay.
Where's Justin's routine? Or did he do a routine?
He didn't do one.
It was just top 10. It was just top 10. Oh, that sucks.
But they do another confirmation round. Unless this is edited.
I do kind of want to see Samson's routine. Yeah, let's watch Samson's routine. His freaking walk, dude.
Yeah.
He's got the only guy that has maybe more swagger than Samson was Phil Heath. He's on par with
I like
Freakin.
Dexter's swag though.
Dexter has the swag too. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Is this buffering or is he literally moving in slow motion?
He's moving
Yeah.
that slow.
Yeah. This is real time. You could tell from the backdrop. Damn, dude. What song did he post to? I forget.
If you yeah.
Oh, it's Chris Holland. Shoot, what is this song? It's on the tip of my tongue.
I'm not sure. Sounds like Stranger Things to me.
What is that song?
And it changes up too.
Oh, it's Freakin. It's Journey. That's who
Oh.
it is. It's Journey. It's
Did you Shazam it?
no, I just remembered. Let's see.
Oh.
Journey. I think it's da, 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 da. I don't know. I think it's Separate Ways by Journey. I'm not positive though. But damn, dude. He's a really good poser.
I will be right back.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, dude. He looks nuts. I like that when Samson poses, you can see like the passion, you know?
Agreed.
Not very many guys pose with that kind of passion.
Yeah, they just go up there and just do what they practiced.
It's much more robotic. I think
Yep.
Derek's next. We might as well watch Derek too.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta play the music, man. You gotta feel it.
Yeah, right? Okay. I really like his routine too. He's just milking it with this walk right now too. So slow.
Great pose right there.
Yeah.
How tall is Derek? You know?
What did you say?
How tall is Derek?
I think he's 5'7".
7.
I think he's the same height as Nick. He might be 5'6", but I think he's 5'7". Because I remember he was kind of on the taller side for 212.
Gotcha.
Yeah, dude, he looks nuts. Wow.
What's crazy? He's gonna get better once he brings
Right.
up his front.
That's what I'm saying, man. He definitely has a lot of room.
Yeah. Like him, it's gonna be him and Samson for sure.
I
Unless
agree.
Andrew gets into this mix. Nope. You know something?
Yeah.
Nick. God damn it, Nick.
Oh,
Nick.
dude, yeah, Nick. Oh, that's another thing we gotta talk about when Milan gets back.
I think Nick would have one. It'd be 1 or 2.
I agree, actually. Wow. His back is ridiculous, man. Really well
Milan, now that you're back,
choreographed routine.
I will be
too.
back.
Okay. Damn. Yeah, that was good.
Whenever. Oh wait, I'll wait for Tyler to come back.
We were just talking while you were gone. Where, if Nick hadn't snapped his hamstring in half, where do you think he would have placed?
Sorry. So you said that. Uh,
not to make light of the situation, because that sucks, and that's
yeah.
gotta be so devastating. Like, shit.
Yeah, so I talked about that with Josh because when was it? 2021. I tore my sartorius and meniscus 3 weeks out.
Oof.
Yeah, and it was like it was like my comeback. I had been off for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt for him, like,
Yeah.
massively. But I think he actually probably would have been second.
I could see it. I could see it. Honestly, I could also potentially see him winning. I don't know if he would have, but he was looking really crazy, dude. Like, definitely his best ever. Crazy conditioning, but bigger.
Yeah.
I think probably Derek still would have edged him out just because of the shape.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Nick had shown up. This is what I was saying leading up to the show, looking at Nick's updates. It reminded me, I might have already said this on the podcast, I don't remember, but it reminded me of the same kind of characteristic combo that Ronnie Coleman had.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, Ronnie Coleman had like super round, full muscle bellies, right? Typical like Samson genetics, but also he had like crazy grainy hard conditioning, typical like white boy genetics, right? Uh, Nick also had both crazy roundness and crazy conditioning and dryness, just the reverse, right? Like Ronnie Coleman was like massive black guy with some white guy genetics. Nick was massive white guy with some black guy genetics. You know, like they were both a combo of the two. So I don't know, dude. That's pretty rare, and when that does happen, it's usually Mr. Olympia. You know,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. But I mean, now that it's so hard. I would say maybe either second or third.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have bumped Hadi that much.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to say because we didn't see it, right?
It would have made for an even crazier, closer top four, that's for sure.
And the peaking process, you know, we all know, can either go extremely right or extremely wrong.
True.
So.
Also true.
But one thing I was gonna say, I was waiting for Tyler to come back. Whenever Hadi was on, and we had like a bunch of friends over, I was just getting, I get so hyped up when I see Hadi, but I just kept like, oh, I just kept fucking howling, and I was thinking to myself, if I was there, I'd be howling like a motherfucker. Like,
I love it. Yeah, Hadi looks great, man. I feel sorry for Derek because he is going to have an entire nation of angry Iranians giving him death threats for a long
he already has. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did you guys see the post that Hadi threw up in Farsi? That I think it was the same night.
Yeah.
Or maybe the next day. Did you guys see that?
I did see it.
Well, when he explained on why he left and whatever.
Well, he just put up basically like the translation was rough that I saw, but the gist that I got is he's apologizing to his country, and it feels like a ton of shame, and like so that's
sad,
hard, man. That's hard. I think that his culture, like they take that shit really serious for good and for bad, right? Like when he won, he had a freaking parade, so that's cool. But yeah,
but in that same breath, I wonder like how are they feeling when he wasn't winning the past couple years? So like just because he wins one don't expect it to be a repetitive thing, or maybe because of Rami. Maybe they were expecting his trend to be like Rami's. I don't know, but for them to be that high and then be that butthurt.
Yeah,
I think.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Neil. Go ahead. I'm still chewing.
I was just gonna say, based on the comments on that post, I did see a lot of people in Farsi, and you can translate on Instagram, saying like, "You're good. We still love you. Iran still loves you." Like I think it's mostly in his head. Like he feels a ton of shame, but
yeah,
I don't think anyone's really hating on him. I think they are hating on Derek and the judges and the whole decision. Like, I think everyone is irate in Iran right now.
Mhm.
But no, I think that Hadi just feels really, really bad and feels like he needs to apologize, which is a bummer.
It's unfortunate.
What were you gonna say, Milan?
I just see so many people shitting on Hadi for walking out, and
I saw that too.
to me, I didn't like when he walked out. I was like, damn, but I wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, he's
Yeah.
this, he's that. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't think of it that way because Hadi. If you look at the difference between Hadi and somebody like Derek or whatever, it's like we know that he's had visa issues.
Yeah.
We know that he's had just there's a language barrier. There's so many obstacles that he's had to overcome.
Yeah.
And he finally was able to win Olympia last year.
Mhm.
And he probably finally got the praise that he deserved. And then there's that expectation and that pressure. Because I was saying, I brought it up on the one that Tyler and I did. And I said, I felt as if Hadi, there was something about his like aura or his energy that was different on stage. Because I think he's coming into this defending a title versus trying to get the title. And I feel that plays a big role in just who you are as a person. So I think
Yeah.
it was just, he probably was fighting that. He had a rough prep. And I can relate. I hate to lose. So I couldn't imagine how he was feeling at that moment. And for all we know, he wanted to just let out his emotions. And that's hard to keep that in when you're standing there and your hands up and they want you to smile.
Yeah.
It probably felt as if his whole world was like just falling down on him. You
Yeah.
can't smile and you can't, it's hard to fake that. You know, people are calling him, people were saying, you know, he's a bitch, he's a pussy, he's this and that. And I'm like,
Which is
you know
stupid.
what?
Which is
I
stupid.
think that you're just being completely a disgusting human to even say that. Because
Did you like? I mean, for sports, I can only relate to this in sports because we do so much. Like it's you can't knock us for showing emotions, right? Like you want
Yeah.
us to go all in. You want us to have all these emotions to go up front and put our whole life, our body, and all this shit on the line.
Yeah.
And then expect us not to feel some way when we don't achieve the goal that we set so hard for. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard. Like
Yeah.
I mean, granted, yeah, you're a professional, like a professional. Come out, man, we're human. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
If we get out of pocket, sometimes we lose the control of our emotions. It happens. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
We all can see that. We've all been there to some degree in a certain situation. But like to call this man out a name, it's like, bro, you don't know shit about nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Imagine, so like we always hear in our culture, we always talk about how like amazing it must be for them in their culture, how like big bodybuilding is, right? Like how when you win, you get a freaking parade thrown for you. Like it's really cool that it's such a major part of their culture and such a big sport in their country. But at the same time, can you imagine the amount of pressure that he must have felt going into this? Like,
yeah.
because for us, if Derek wins or loses, the United States doesn't give a shit. The government
Yeah.
doesn't. I'm willing to bet the government hasn't even heard of the Olympia. Like they have
Yeah.
no idea. They have no idea who Derek Lunsford is, right? And they could care less if he wins or loses. The fact that his freaking government actually cares whether he wins or
Mhm.
loses, like that's pressure, man. That's an enormous
Yeah.
amount of pressure.
Huge.
So I
Yeah.
bet, to your point, Milan, that's probably why he was a little shaky on stage and his stage presence was a little different. Is he probably like was feeling that pressure? I know I would. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, because if we try to break it down and try to figure out what is really the difference between him this year and previous years, is that he was
Yeah.
defending a title. It's the
Yeah.
only difference.
Yeah. It's harder. It's harder
Yeah.
to defend than to win one.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, people are shitting on him because they're like, oh, you know, he didn't do anything for the Olympia. He didn't. Dude, he doesn't, like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't live in America.
Right, come on.
And it's like, he even struggled to get to the Olympia. You think he's going to go and do all these different, like, events and meet and greets? Like, when he, and people are saying, you know, he doesn't speak English, that's not a good representative. And it's like, okay, are we looking for a representative or are we looking for the best bodybuilder in the world?
Yeah.
Oh.
Plus,
Because
Because then that's going to make people from other countries not want to bodybuild and compete.
Well,
Yeah.
If you're saying that that's what they're looking for.
And honestly, when we're talking about this, I know this might be like a slight sidestep, but obviously with all the far left, far right situations, everybody talking about Ron Terry, the only one because he's white, like our our side of the world. Is just
Were they saying that?
Yeah, they're
Wow.
all like it's stupid. It's
Okay, but like,
it's like it's
hasn't men's
nothing
physique
to do with
like
yeah.
I was gonna say, aren't all the champions like not?
It's exact. It's
confused.
It's fucking stupid. I just
but,
going into that in like in a domestic and international way. It's just it's fucking stupid.
Another thing I'll add to that quickly was that I think it was the first podcast we ever did. I talked about how it doesn't matter what achievement you like, what big achievement you have, people are always gonna find something to knock you for.
Yeah.
Like you can't ever like satisfy anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always gonna be somebody.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah. The other thing that I've been hearing from people that irritates me, I've heard this a lot since the Olympia even, is I'll start a conversation with somebody about how the results went down. Like, man, like Derek won, right? Crazy, huh? And then the response is like, well, it makes the most sense business wise. Like he's the business decision.
Yes, that's what I keep hearing too.
I keep hearing that, and I'm like, I don't think that matters, dude. Like,
it doesn't.
I think that's true. He does make a lot of sense from a business point perspective. Like, yeah, he's literally like Golden Boy Derek. Like, is like the most clean cut, like God fearing.
Yeah,
yeah. Like he seems like a really good person, and he's somebody that you would probably want to represent your sport. But I don't think the judges care. I don't think that's what they're thinking. Like maybe the president of the IFBB is thinking that, but he's not judging the show. I don't think Steve Weinberg. I don't think Steve Weinberg cares.
Right.
Yeah.
You know who is the representative? I don't know. It's just silly.
Like didn't this little point kind of come out of Regan winning over Nathan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. People were like, "Well, he's got more followers on Instagram." I don't think that matters.
Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
I've heard that somewhat about Chris too, which I'm like, dude, you can't say that Chris. Like, granted, it was closer this year for sure.
Like, are y'all not seeing this man's physique year in and year out? Like, he's miles ahead of everybody.
Yes, miles. This is the first year that like that gap closed a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, man, years past. I remember last year how funny it looked when they all came out because it was like he was on the wrong stage, like he was in a different division. You know, like yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people try to like write things off like yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, it's a weird time right now for bodybuilding for sure.
I feel like it's the best time because it's a way of us as a sport to navigate, but at least this is a great sign of it expanding and growing and getting the representation that it needs.
Yes. Another thing I will say, and to me this is a positive, I really, really like that this is the case now, but the old adage, I said this on the group chat the other night, the old adage of you got to knock out the champ to beat the champ is not true anymore. It's not. It's just not true because Derek did not knock out Hadi. Like whether you think he deserved to win or not, if he won, he edged him out. Right? He did not knock him out by any means.
Yeah.
Keon did not knock out Sean by any means. That was very close, and you could have argued either there as well. So yeah, that's not a thing anymore at all. I don't think. Like if you beat the champ even by a little bit, you still beat the champ.
Well, I think Physique had a knockout though, because E-Banks didn't play. E-Banks played what, third, fourth?
Dude,
oh, did he?
Yeah.
I really struggle to judge men's physique personally. It's really
I don't judge it. I just watch it because they're the closest thing to beef as we're going to get.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
I feel like
I'm not saying anything on this one.
I feel like they all just flip flop so much that it's just confusing to me because with Open and with 212 and with Classic, like they will trade spots, but it always makes sense. Like, okay, so like for Classic, a few of the places move around, like Rion, Urs, all those guys, Terrence, but it all made sense. Like when you saw them, you're like, yeah.
I get it.
Although I don't know, Terrence, you can make a case for him placing higher for sure. He looked incredible. He looked incredible.
I think Brian should have placed higher.
But yeah, like overall, you look at them and you're like, okay, it makes sense
over Earth
where they did, or it makes sense why they dropped a place or gained a place, whatever. But with men's physique, it's like, wait, like they're completely the lineup is completely different from last year, or the placings are completely different from last year.
Very different.
It's really confusing. I don't know. Maybe because it's closer. It's always closer with those guys. So
they're only looking at the upper half. So I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
What are you gonna say? I'm sorry. Say again. What are you saying?
Nothing. I'm not gonna make that mistake again.
But it is cool. So I'm not really familiar with Ryan Terry. Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not very familiar with him, but it is cool.
I'm happy he finally won.
That he moved up.
He's been hunting us for what, 5
literally
years?
Literally a decade.
Really close.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, he's that old?
Yeah, like since when I started competing was 2015, and he was like second every time leading up until and then he fell off a bit, and then now he's finally got it. So honestly, kind of hope he retires.
Yeah,
hope he calls it.
That'd be badass. Yeah.
You're right. All right. Come out, guys.
Can you imagine? Like, I don't know. For me, I'm like, I love competing, but going at that level for that amount of time,
yeah,
you got to start your life sometime, you know.
That's another good question. A good question for, I guess, for all the divisions.
Yeah.
Is there anybody this year that you think this will be their last Olympia?
I've thought about this, but
I don't know, honestly. I mean, Brandon would probably be the closest one, personally.
Yeah.
Because I feel like everybody else is relative. Okay, and Phil, his 50-year-old self. Shout out to him.
Oh, true. That's a good point.
Shout outs to him for doing this. Because he looked great.
Dude.
Like, I would.
Phil, his conditioning is incredible. I really think the only thing that is keeping him from placing higher, and he still won a show to get there, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The only thing keeping him from placing higher at the Olympia is just like it's like the old man structure, you know? Yeah. Like the stomach starts to look a little less aesthetic. It's a little harder to control. The limbs start to shrink a little bit, which makes the stomach look bigger. So it's just like, it happens, man. It happens as you age. But the fact that he's still qualifying for the Olympia and coming in peeled, like, good for him.
Right. Yeah. I was like, hey, you came in to do the damn thing. Then he didn't just come in like, hey, I'm 50 years old, you'll get a pass. No, you came in to showcase. And
like, imagine that being your dad.
Yeah.
Let's go, Pops.
Yeah.
That's you.
At 50? Like, come on.
Yeah,
that's
for real.
Sick.
For real, that's so dope.
That's
good for him.
Dope. That's dope.
Good for him.
I bet he got the son had some pressure. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had Brian and I had this conversation like yesterday because like we've talked about kids. I don't know if you guys talk. Well, I know Tyler, you have one kid.
One. I have a daughter.
One.
Yep.
And then Neil, I don't know if you ever plan to have kids, but we thought we're like, do we think they're gonna bodybuild because we both did it?
Yeah.
Like I really wonder. I think it's almost inevitable that'll be the reality.
I can't say that. Only reason because I kind of fell into it. I didn't know. Well, not because I have a daughter. It's just I simply fell into bodybuilding. I like to train. I've always been an athlete, so I don't think if she picks it up, it'd be solely because of her. But sports is the main direction I would probably choose her. so I can save some money when she go to college.
Like, I wouldn't push it. But I think that they would just naturally want to do it.
I ain't gonna lie. When you told her to do a front double and she did it, warmed my heart because I was like,
that was so cute.
Yeah, it was. I warmed my heart because I was shocked. I was like, oh, shit.
Just like when she said it, she said,
Tyler, has she expressed any? I mean, it sounds like a little bit, but has she expressed any interest in it at all? Like, has she talked about it at all?
Okay. Nah, she knows she expects it from me.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing my morning check-ins or if I'm about to leave, she immediately knows. Like when mom gets home, bye, daddy, and I haven't really changed yet, but she knows I'm about to leave. So it's not like she wants to do it quite yet, or she like mimics me in that certain regard. But she knows, she expects it from daddy.
I think she'll catch on.
Yeah,
she'll catch on more.
She's probably too young to even know that like that's an option for her, right? Like,
yeah,
right. It's not. All she knows is gymnastics and soccer.
Okay. Well, that's cool, man. Do you think that, in a broader sense, that she's destined to be involved in some facet of fitness, whether it's gymnastics or sport?
Big facts. There's. I'm going to push a sport, not cheerleading. For those who think cheerleading is a sport, respect you, but no. Basketball, soccer, golf, gymnastics in the early parts of the year for coordination purposes. Those things I'm not going to push, but I'm going to give her opportunities to succeed and have her like overcome trials. You know, when kids like, I don't want to do it, and they have like a minute reason that they just have to overcome. Yeah. And then hopefully by middle school, she has a sense of the two sports she wants to do going into high school. So that's my push. Will she come to the gym with me a couple times? For sure. But will she be hitting back squats and stuff like me? We'll see.
You should put her in slap fighting.
No, because I'll probably be the one to get slapped. I don't want those problems.
I'm just kidding.
So what? Let me ask you this, Tyler. What would you do if she were like, let's say she's a teenager in high school. What if she came to you and decided, like, you know what, Dad, I want to be Miss Olympia? Well, how would you feel about that? If she was like all in, like, I want to turn pro, I want to be a female bodybuilder.
My job is to support, so let's figure it out. Like, talk about coaches, be 100% upfront with what that means, but also in that same breath, give her time, because if she's in high school, she's going to need at least 3 to 4 years naturally to develop that mindset and really see if this is the route that she wants to go. Because you don't just pick it. You kind of it's like a marriage, really. You just kind of grow with that. I've loved, like, for me it was training. I love training, and then somebody introduced me to bodybuilding, and then I went to go look at it, and I was like, all right. Then my training became more of a not just a place of zen, but it was also a place of zen and purpose. Because now I'm going with intent to get better, not going with intent to show my pecs off at the club or just so I can walk around with my shirt off. It became a little bit different. And so for my kids, my daughter, I want them to have that recognition that this is what I truly want, and it makes sense for my life, because it's not a temporary thing. It's truly a lifestyle until it's not.
That's a really good answer, dude.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's Dad right there. What, Milan? How would you feel if you were to have kids? How would you feel if they wanted to bodybuild?
All right, I'd say, okay, we got Primo on hand. We got...
I've been waiting for this day.
I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, I think it depends on if I had a boy or a girl. And we talked about this too, is that we thought that if we had a girl, it might potentially be an option for them if they like thinking that they'd want to do it. But if we had a boy, I think it would be for sure he'd want to.
Okay.
But I would definitely support them, and I think that it's, if it was anybody else's parents, I think it would be a better, like, good option that both of us had done it before, and we know the ins and outs, and we know the negatives to everything and the positives to it all.
Yeah.
And I would try to, I would do my best to not make them feel like there's this immense pressure to have to compete and to, like, have to win. Which is the complete opposite of kind of what I had growing up. Like, with my dad was very much like, if you're gonna compete, you're gonna compete to win, and you better fucking win, kind of thing. Like, I wasn't, like, super close with him, but when I did tell him that I was deciding to compete, at first he was kind of like, oh, that's, I don't know, like, I've never heard of this bodybuilding thing. But my dad was a black belt, 7-time black belt in Taekwondo.
Wow.
So he knew what it was like to, like, train really hard and compete. So when he did realize that I wanted to do it, he was like, "Okay, if you're gonna do it, like, you have to go all in." So I think with my kids, I would, but I would want to be able to monitor them as much as possible.
What do you mean by monitor them exactly?
Well, I mean, you have to think, like, now it's very, very rare that even people who don't compete are taking gear.
Got you.
So it's like, okay, if you're gonna do this, let's make sure that you're gonna be doing it in the safest way possible. I mean, not to say that it's not safe in any way. It's gonna have some detriment to your health, but like to make sure that they're on top of everything, their blood work, taking the right stuff, realizing, like, how everything affects them in a certain way. If I need to take it out, take it out. Yeah, I would support them in whatever they would want to do. But I think it would also be kind of cool to be there and experience that, kind of live through them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'd also much rather they hear all of that information from me firsthand versus, like, because I remember the Googling that I did when I was first starting and the forums that I read and how much bullshit that I...
That's what I mean. That's why I said, like, monitoring them.
Yeah. So, no, for sure. I think that makes more sense. Even if, like, let's say you didn't want your kid to bodybuild, they're going to do it regardless. So it makes more sense to at least give them as much information as you possibly can about what they're getting into, right? So,
I feel
I'm getting backstage pass. I'll be doing their tan, like.
I feel like in that regard, I don't think I would give my child everything because I want them to learn. Like, I don't want, we were talking. There's a question about business. If you're a multi-million-dollar person or whatever, and your son wants to follow in your footsteps, would you tell him every loophole, every in and out, so he can replicate exactly what you did? And like most everybody honestly would say yes, but because of generational differences, times you can't necessarily give them everything because you want them to understand how to, because you're not always going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, it's just mainly, like, from a health and drug standpoint. I would make sure that they're as educated as possible. Everything else, like, yeah, they can probably figure it out, but that's the thing that worries me.
That's a good point, Tyler. Like, I probably wouldn't want to, like, lay out a blueprint as far as, like, training goes, because some of the most fun that I had training was killing myself for 3 hours every day because I didn't know what I was doing. It was fun.
Miss those days.
And it taught me a lot about, like, what not to do and how much, but also, like, how much I can handle, right? So I think that would be more valuable than, like, okay, here's exactly how much volume you should do, and these are the exercises that I think are the best, and, like, go replicate this. I think that makes more sense.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, guys, closing thoughts about the Olympia.
I look forward to next year. I look forward for the next 3-4 years, honestly. It was fucking great. It was close.
We should close with this. We should close with this question. Do you guys think that Derek, do you think that the next few years are just going to flip flop around, or you think that someone's going to repeat? Like, do you think Derek will repeat for a few years or no?
I think flip flop.
Yeah.
I say flip flops. Like Derek win this year, miss next year, then win the third year.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
It's so hard to say.
Yeah.
For me, I'm very much pumped for the Arnold now. Like,
I'll be
'cause
pumped when I
that's-
hear the confirmations.
what?
I'll be pumped when I start hearing the confirmations of who's winning.
Has anyone said that they're doing it?
Well, it's invite only.
Oh.
It's
Right.
invite only. So,
But has anyone come out and
usually-
said like, "Oh, I'm doing the Arnold," or "I was invited to the Arnold," or anything? Or
so how it works is you have to send like, if you don't get an invite, obviously if you're not like super top pro, then you send in an application and you can either get accepted or denied. I think that happens soon. It's like after the Olympia that they start to do that.
Okay.
And then the invitations kind of slowly start going out. But I think Brandon will be there for sure.
Okay.
Nick will be there if he can recover, obviously. And they might give him a special what did they gave Derek one. What was it called again? A special invite?
Well, that's
think
to
it was
the
called?
Olympia. They made it so that he didn't have to qualify.
Yeah, so I feel like they'll do that. They might do that for Nick next year.
Oh, sure.
And then because it's only top 3 now, right? That requalifies.
Yeah.
So technically Nick would have to do another show.
True.
But he most likely will be invited to the Arnold. I think Andrew will be there again. Maybe Hadi's gonna get an invite this time.
You know who I do know was talking about going. I don't think he's been formally invited yet, but he's prepping as if he's going. Is Hollingshead, James.
Oh,
Nice.
you know why? Because I think he's gonna do the Arnold UK.
He said he's going to do both.
Oh, okay.
He for sure said he wants to do the Ohio one, and then I think
Let's go, Jay!
right, and then I think the UK he was like, well, I might as well do that one too because it's close to where I live. But no, he was for sure throwing his hat in the ring for the Ohio one. So
I hope he can go into that. Would love to see him. It's time that I finally meet him in person. I've been friends with him online for so long.
Yeah.
So
he's a cool guy, man.
I do plan to go to that because it's only like a 6-hour drive for me.
Nice.
So, and Hostile, we're apparently supposed to have a booth.
Yep.
So
yeah.
We're hoping that we all get that invite.
Yeah.
And we all get the.
I'm gonna go regardless. I think.
I think we all are. I mean, that idea of the Airbnb is probably gonna be it's gonna be flooded with all of us.
A plane ticket to Ohio can't cost that much, can it?
No.
Well, how far would that be for you guys?
I think that's a 4.5 hour flight, maybe.
I'm honestly
if it's direct. If it's direct.
I'm so bad with geography, I don't even know. Let's see.
Oh.
Seattle to Columbus, Ohio.
I feel like it's, I don't know, maybe not.
It is a 4.5 hour flight, it looks like.
Not bad.
$200
Dude,
round.
flights are cheap.
$200 round trip. That's nothing. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like unheard of.
I'll plan on being there for sure.
Sick.
I've always wanted to go to Arnold.
Oh, dude, it's the best.
That's what I've heard.
I used to go every year.
What?
So much fun. The Arnold.
I went once, and that's because I lived there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I lived in Columbus for like 2 years.
Oh no shit.
Oh shit. It's cold there.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty nice, actually. But I'm hot as hell, so it is.
Yeah, dude. That'll be better than Vegas for sure. With it there. Oh my god, that was so hot. Okay, I think. Oh man, I could see Derek repeating because of how much room he has to improve. Right, if he's going to continue to make improvements like he has, I could see him repeating. But I could also see him not repeating. I could see Nick coming back with a freaking vengeance, winning the Arnold, taking a long off season and winning the Olympia. Like that could happen too, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see, man. It's very
I
exciting.
wonder what's gonna happen with Hadi right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because how long has he been in the game? He's been on for like
Long time.
12.
Yeah, because he was 212 before.
Yeah. How old is Hadi?
I'm sure. Yeah. No. I think he's still relatively young.
Hadi's 30.
36 is
Seven?
what Google says.
though.
Yeah, 36 is this. Born in 87. So he could keep going he could have another 5 years in him if he wanted to, you know.
I hope not. I think I'll at max I give that man 2 years. For as long as he's done it, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it'd be one of those times to just kind of relax now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see him coming back for sure next year, but I could see
Yeah.
if he starts placing second or dropping more than a couple years in a row, I could see him dipping.
Yeah.
Because he's
Nobody.
one. He's,
So y'all not saying anything on Samson? Y'all don't see Samson resurging?
dude, I could totally see Samson winning next year too, 100%. I think the only thing that Samson needs to do literally is just, and not that this is like easy, like why didn't he come in dry? Like that's not what I'm saying. For whatever he needs to do, I don't know what he needs to do, but if he came in with his glutes and hammies a little drier, I think he would win. Like I think that's literally the only reason.
From what I think somebody said this, I can't remember where I heard it from, but they said because it was on a story that from people that were there, and they said he was bubbly but watery at the same time.
Okay.
So like if he extracted that like the sweating aspect of it, he might look tighter for the glutes and the hamstrings. And I think that's 100% facts.
I think he's definitely dieting hard enough because I heard him talking about his diet and he was eating 3 eggs for meal 1, and that's it.
Even for their carb up, he said he only had 90 grams of carbs.
No kidding.
Like, a day.
So there might be like a one last little chemical component that they haven't figured out yet. I don't know what it is. There's some like last little step that they haven't quite perfected, I think. Because I don't think it's that he's not coming in out of shape. It's just he's a little bit watery. Like he just has a little film, you know?
Yeah.
So if they can correct that, man, sky's the limit. He could win. Yeah. He could go on a tear and win the next 7 Olympias for all.
I would like to see him win next year.
I would too.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really cool.
I mean, hey, if we look at it from a trajectory sense, he got 6th and he just got 3rd. So like he's on his way up, right? I could totally see him continuing that trajectory and winning next year for sure.
Let's hope Andrew don't get too good at his posing.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I guess we'll know from the Arnold.
Yeah.
I mean, that determines really the rest of the year, so.
Yeah. For sure.
Or sets the tone.
So if all those names are in, including Nick, who do you think is going to win the Arnold? Any predictions?
I don't know how serious Nick's injury is, so I would be interested to see how long that.
The man was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So
that's never a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He was in a wheelchair, but then I also saw a video of him in Orlando training. So like he's still training. And he did say something in the video like, this is the injured workout, like gotta go light. But like he's already training, so it can't be. I don't know how
too bad.
What was he training?
Just like chest or something. It was upper body.
Yeah,
he wasn't doing any leg.
Yeah,
but
so that must mean he can't push. He doesn't want to push to activate his hamstrings. Like when you push,
right.
So.
Yeah, because like for me, like when I tore my sartorius and meniscus, I couldn't do any knee flexion.
Okay.
For like, I want to say 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So I could do hip flexion, but no knee flexion.
Yeah.
And that was with it healing. It healed 30% in a week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
And then you have to also think, like, once you've torn something like that, you kind of have this thing in your head where it's, like, kind of PTSD. Like, you won't be able to train the same way because you're like, fuck, I'm going to tear it again.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is going to affect his comeback, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's... I don't know if he's gonna keep the drugs in. Is he gonna,
I think he's gonna
lose
I think he's
size?
he's gonna keep the drugs in for sure because it's gonna help up the healing process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like he didn't really specify how severe it was. Looking at it, it looked pretty bad.
It looked pretty bad. Yeah.
So, like it wouldn't shock me if he was out like from doing anything extreme for at least 10 to 12 weeks. The way it looked, because the hamstring is something that you just can't, beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
So with that, I don't know how the Arnold would go.
I don't either. I can't really say anything
because
until we start hearing who's going.
12 weeks from now would put us in like
February, March.
Would put us like 3 weeks out from the Arnold. So I don't know.
Yeah, so probably safe to say he won't be able to do the Arnold this year.
Probably
comfortably.
Yeah.
Yes, unless it just heals up really quick and it's not as major as he thought maybe. And I'm also concerned because the knock on Nick has been that he's top heavy. Or I'm not necessarily top heavy, but like specifically his quad sweeps, right? That's been the conversation. So if he can't train legs for 4 months or something, that really sucks.
Yeah.
Because he brought him up.
He did.
I don't know if they were going to compare.
Yeah.
To Hadi's, Brandon's, Samson's, but I mean not Brandon's, but Derek's.
Mm-hmm.
But he brought him up, and it was just going to be a continuation factor. I'm sure this is going to prohibit that a little bit.
Well, if anyone has the willpower and the mental fortitude to come back from it, it's him for sure.
Yes, for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
I mean, he is a mutant.
Yeah.
I know he'll make a big comeback. The question is just when or how soon, I guess. So
yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this was one hell of an Olympia, huh?
Indeed it was.
Yeah.
Indeed it was.
And we need to get Josh on too.
Yeah, we got to have this whole conversation all over again with Josh.
All right.
I'm sure he has a lot to say.
Yeah.
The next episode, we'll just ask Josh. We'll just take turns asking Josh questions, and then that'll fill the time for sure. No problem.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, this is good, guys. This was fun. I've been dying to talk to more people about this since I saw it. So.
Yeah, and I think we should. Well, if you guys want to record another one too, I'd like to talk about the other categories as well. It's hard to cover open.
We didn't even really talk much about Classic or 212 or any of the women's divisions.
Yeah.
Maybe we do another Olympia focused episode with Josh and we can get all of his opinions and then talk about the other divisions too.
Yeah, for sure.
Sounds like
I'm down.
All right, guys. What are you guys up to today? Just work?
Work.
Yeah.
You're what? Work, yeah.
And I got legs later, so I'm excited.
I don't want to go.
Legs. What are you training, Milan?
Today I'm supposed to do legs, but so I start at 5, but I'm working till 1.
Ooh.
So I'm trying to decide. I know I'm trying to decide if I should go now, but I haven't eaten much.
Shit.
Or if I go after.
Go before for sure. You're fresh. You're not taxed. You're chill. Go knock it out and then suffer at work.
What time is it for you? What time is it for you?
It's 1 o'clock right now.
And you work at 5. You got time. Just pound some frickin'. You don't eat oats because you're not white.
Intra.
But pound some cream of rice.
I've been doing intra a lot. I do it almost 2 times a day right now because I've been trying to put my weight back on.
Hell yeah.
So you might as well get you a mass gainer then at that point.
Oh my god, I'd probably be on the toilet half the time.
Get one of those big industrial sized bags.
I wouldn't be able to walk.
Oh. Oh my god. I remember there was one
beef patties.
I remember there was one that we sold at Super Sup. I used to work at Super Supplements way back in the day when I was 18. And we sold, I can't remember, I think it was called Serious Mass. I don't remember who made it. But the scoop was literally like a shovel, dude. It was literally this big.
Holy.
And it was just like a scooper that you'd see in a dog food bag. That's what. And the serving was 4 scoops. So it was so much powder. It was so much powder.
Oh man.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever go that route.
No,
I'd rather eat.
Not
But-
to that, not to that degree.
no, that's crazy. That's craziness. All right, guys.
Yeah, I'm good.
Same time next week. We'll do this all over again with Joshy.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
All right. Enjoy your leg
Okay,
day.
have a good day. Have a good week, guys.
You guys too.
Talk to you soon.
Talk soon.
Later.
Peace.